is Josh Olaoluwa. I am a producer and I was from the first intake of EbonyLife Creative Academy 2021. Okay, so I'll start by saying that I was quite skeptical about even like applying for the program because I felt like, 3 months of just like coming to the academy without like working or getting paid. And then my first day in school, like my first day in class, I met my instructor and then I met my colleagues, and it was just like, okay, I'm making the right choice because the quality of my fellow cohorts, like I mean, I had people in my class that were from like broadcast, that were from like, that were producers and all. The following week, Vincho, our tutor, said we'll start working on movie magic, budgeting and scheduling. And before then, I just used to hear about it. Like I most times I used to budget with Excel sheets and just, because I learned producing like just by doing. And coming to the EbonyLife Creative Academy, I could say that for the first time, like we had labs with like machines, and then we'll go downstairs just before our classes. We're going to work on like budgeting, scheduling, and it sort of made us all around producers. Because for me, for example, before then, I was just winging it. But after my second week at the academy, I realized that I was working with these softwares. I was interacting with my colleagues, and it was also very collaborative because I wasn't shy or ashamed to go and meet my colleague to say that, teach me or show me something. So I felt like EbonyLife taught me collaboration more because whenever we were in class, it was just, what are you working on? What are you working on? How can we help each other? And towards the end of my cohort, I realized that we're going to make films like our personal projects. And I remember because we had to like ballot and pick partners. And that also taught me something. It taught me that sometimes you don't get everything you want, because there were people that I wanted to work with. Like, for example, I wanted to work with Naomi, and then when I picked somebody else in my cohort, Joshua. We were 2 guys, and we needed to produce a film. And another thing I learned was also being resourceful, because we didn't have everything we needed, but we needed to make a film that we're going to be proud of, because at the end of our programs, there would be screening of these films with like dignitaries, Lagos State, MA, and so it was like the stakes were high, but it didn't feel like we were competing with my colleagues. Like at every point in time, I could reach out to the school. I remember even when we were on set, like we would call like the head of school, would call Michael. Like when we ran into problems, there was this support system where we didn't feel like we were alone. So we went out, we made these short films. I also remember, sorry to say this was also very important for me. Prior to now, I didn't understand that as producers, you needed to like have like convince writers. For example, like during my cohort, we went to writers. We kind of made them see why we should produce their stories and why we should bring their ideas to life. And I remember the film that I made was Ifeloju. I spoke to extensively with the writers that, please let me produce this film, I really like it. And after then, we also sort of interviewed directors, and that entire process was enriching for me and for a lot of people in my cohort. I also remember that we used to have joint classes with the directing team, with the actors, and it also helped us interact better with people. We're not just like in a silos in a shell. It was not like classrooms. We had common rooms, we shared ideas. It was life-changing. I think my best moment at the school was on graduation day. I'm not even gonna lie. And that was because I saw how hard everybody had worked. I mean, sleepless nights, like editing, like trying to meet the deadlines, because we had to put this project together in the shortest possible time. And on the graduation days, when we wore our gowns and like we were watching our films, like all the films were really good. All like the faculty was really proud of what we were, and mind you, we're the first cohort that was coming from the school, and it was important that we did work that the other cohorts could come and see and feel like, okay, this is good work. So my proudest moment, I'm not going to lie, was when we all saw what we had created. Films from my cohort would go on to screen at AFRIF, would go on to win awards. Like there was Monitoring Spirit. Like we made remarkable films that were not just only good by the academic standard, it was also good by general standard. So that was a standard moment for me, knowing that we were creating work that was universally good and not just academic good. My low point is also sort of an high point, because I realized that we're not going to get all the money we expected to get. Like in our head, we felt like, oh, we're going to get a lot of money. I did not, but it also taught me that you have to make the project work. You have to work the budget. You have to call people, and that was it. People personally reach out to me. I mean, after I graduated, they text me and they're like, "Oh, Josh, I want to apply for EbonyLife. What do you think?" And what I tell them is that the truth is, a lot of people are condescending towards film school, especially like when I was going to come, a lot of people said, "Oh, you're already in the industry, you're already making money. Why are you going to a film school again for 3 months? What are they going to teach you?" And 1 year after, I'm a producer at EbonyLife Studios. So I tell people when they reach out to me that it's like delayed gratification. You spend 3 months, you learn, you meet people, you form networks. Like, people have reached out to me to ask for recommendations of writers, of directors, of producers, and the first set of people that come to my head are people from the academy. Sometimes I reach out to my HODs to say, "Oh, please recommend." So, and that was how I got employed at Ebony, because it was also the same process. Like, we were recommended and we sent in our CVs, and then we had interviews. But bottom line is, if I have any advice for someone coming, I would say you should give it a try, because first of all, you're expanding your community. Second of all, you're going to learn hands-on skills. So it's not just theoretical. Like, you go to classes, you pitch ideas, you work on actual sets. So some people during my cohort, that was their first time of being on actual sets. And then when you come out of the academy, you have a film to your name, you have a credit to your name that you could now go into the industry with, to say that, "Oh, I have this." And another good thing about the academy is that you also get to work on your colleagues' projects. So beyond your own film, you also get credit on 2 or 3 other short films that are really, really well executed. So I would say just go for it, and don't be like, don't have doubts, basically. I worked on Naked Woman, a short film. It screened at the Smithsonian Institute in the USA. It also won like awards like for Best Director at the New York Tri-State Film Festival. I worked on my first feature film coming soon on Netflix for EbonyLife Studios. I also worked on Moabudu's 2 short films as a producer, and I'm in development and in pre-production for several other projects. So I'd like to thank the Lagos State government for putting this initiative together. I'd like to thank the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I would like to thank the CEO of EbonyLife Group, Moabudu, for dreaming about this and bringing it to fruition.